Good afternoon. My name is Alexei. I am a diving instructor and the owner of the Latvian dive center Nautilus. Today, in my review, I want to talk about an underwater flashlight, the HunterProLight hub model. My goal is not to compare this flashlight with other manufacturers. I simply want to explain why I chose this particular flashlight and its advantages. Its disadvantages, and also together with you will go through the settings of this flashlight. Why is this so important to me? And I think it will also be important for many viewers. Because when I received this package after spending the first hour and a half on trying out the settings, in short, nothing worked for me in the first hour and a half. And honestly, I started to regret it a little. Regretting the money spent. So, to make sure this doesn't happen to you, I want to record this video with a more detailed guide, so to speak, on how to set it up for yourself. Now, let's get back to why I chose this particular flashlight, this specific model. Here on the box it says, powerful, intelligent, multicolor. What does this mean? The flashlight comes with 4 batteries included, 21700 LG batteries with a capacity of 5000 milliamp hours. That's one advantage. The next point. It's an intelligent flashlight and it has several built-in modes. To be precise, there are 15 modes that you can choose from to suit your own needs for your work requirements. The flashlight can be customized to suit the needs of any underwater hunter, diver, or videographer. Overall, that's pretty cool too. Next point. This flashlight is multicolor. I don't know of any other flashlight that can offer such an option, unlike the hub flashlight. The thing is, the flashlight is equipped with 25 LEDs. The central LED, orange, called the amber as I understand it, is an informational LED. All the other 24 LEDs are purely working LEDs. And here's an interesting point. This flashlight can be used as both a cool and a warm light. Within these 15 scenarios, there are 15 different lighting modes for the flashlight. That is, there are modes with a cool hotspot, a cool halo, a warm hotspot, and a warm halo. Just a cool halo, just a warm halo, and all sorts of different lighting types. Overall, in my opinion, this is really cool. Honestly, I haven't found anything like this in other flashlight models. Yes, the price. The price is 570 euros. But, you know, as they say, showing off well costs more than money. I'm used to buying only good things for myself. And basically, about the price, let's just say the price didn't really bother me. What I need is the result. And this flashlight, in my particular case, will be used for filming a documentary underwater. And I hope it proves itself. Also, in this very comprehensive review, I will thoroughly show you not only the intricate settings and various configurations, which we will meticulously figure out together, but also extensively test it underwater in different, diverse and challenging modes. And I hope that this video will be useful to someone at least, and that someone will be able to decide for themselves whether they need this kind of flashlight or not. If you're choosing a flashlight strictly for spearfishing, for example, well, naturally, it's probably a bit of an overpriced show-off, right? But if a person is into not only spearfishing or just diving, but also videography, which in my opinion is no less interesting, then in principle, it's probably a really great option. What comes included with the flashlight? The HunterProLight hub flashlight. 4 LG batteries, each with a capacity of 5000 milliamp hours. A balancing charger. A 220 volt power adapter. A cable for the balancing charger. A car charging cord. A small spare parts kit from the charger with O-rings and lithium grease. And there's also a small carabiner type attachment that screws into the flashlight's cap so that you can attach a lanyard or something similar to it, and there's also a user manual. Alright, let's open it up and take a look. Here we have the manual. The manual is in Russian. Everything is explained quite clearly. Incompetently. Here is the flashlight itself. The balancing charger. The power supply unit. A cable for the balancing charger. Stickers from the store where I ordered it. By the way, the store is called ricklukas.lt. I'll leave a link below to the store where I bought this flashlight. It's a Lithuanian store from Vilnius. In the description. This is the zip. It's a little carabiner, but I don't really know what to call it. Anyway, it screws in. Right here into the cap, and you can attach a lanyard to it. And a car charger cable for our charging device. The flashlight comes in such a way that one battery is in the box and 3 are already installed in the flashlight. To install the battery in the flashlight, we need to unscrew the body. Maybe we don't need to touch the button. What do we see here? Contacts. The contacts, according to the manufacturer, are gold-plated and quite springy, which is really great. On the back of the flashlight, under the button, there's a port for the charger and a button for restoring and saving modes. When installing the batteries, there's also a small feature here, and it's probably a good thing. All the batteries are inserted the same way, that is, with the same contacts facing up. So you don't have to think about which way goes where. When we install the 4th battery, the flashlight will blink with all its LEDs, which means the flashlight is ready to use. And it has entered lock mode. Let's try it now. We press the contact. There, our flashlight blinked, entered lock mode, and is basically ready to use. Let's assemble the body. When we've assembled the flashlight, to turn it on, we need to unlock it. To unlock it, we need to do 3 clicks. 1, 2, 3. The flashlight turned on. With the next click, we switch to the so-called moonlight mode. Backlight. The next click turns the flashlight off. After that, we can turn it on or off, or cycle through with single clicks. Here we pressed it and it turned on in working mode. One more time for moonlight, one more time for off. Or from the on state, we can do 3 short clicks. 1, 2, 3. The flashlight will blink, indicating that it has entered lock mode and the flashlight is now locked. To unlock it, we also need to do 3 short clicks. 1, 2, 3. That's it, the flashlight is now on. We've more or less figured this part out. I hope no one will have any trouble with this. The very first thing I would recommend doing is to take a look. So we've unlocked it, right? And then go into the channel selector and check out all 15 scenarios that are programmed into this flashlight. How do you do that? With the flashlight turned on, do 3 short clicks and a press. The 4th press is a press and hold. What should happen then? Orange. The amber LED should blink 4 times, and then the flashlight itself should signal by blinking from cool to yellow, yellow to cool. That means we've entered the scenario selector. Now I'll show you what that looks like. I'll be using these kinds of camera filters so the video image doesn't get overexposed. What do we need to do to enter the program selector, the channel selector? Turn on the flashlight. There, we've turned it on. It's now on in working mode. Then, as I mentioned before, we do 3 short clicks, and the 4th press is a press and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the orange LED indicator is blinking. Cool and warm light. This signals to us that we've entered the channel selector. And now, by releasing the button and cycling through with short presses, we can easily view all our 15 scenarios. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. The flashlight flickered. It switched again to indicate that we are in the scenario selector. And now we can choose and save the one we need. To select the scenario we need, all we have to do is press and hold the button a little on the scenario that interests us. When it blinks twice, that means the scenario has been saved to our working modes of the flashlight. Here, look. 1, 2, 3. Well, let's pick the warm one. Pressed it, it blinked twice. Well, this one will do. Pressed it, it blinked twice. Cool halo. Pressed it, it blinked twice. Warm halo. Pressed it, it blinked twice. Then, if we want to exit the scenario selector, we just need to press and hold the button. Pressed it. Released it. That's it, our flashlight has now exited the scenario selector. And now we can easily review what we've saved in the flashlight's memory for our work. How do you do that? It's done pretty much the same way. So we've turned off the flashlight. Now we're turning it on. It turns on in the same mode it was in before being turned off. And now, to view all the scenarios we've selected, there are 4 scenarios. We need to do 2 short clicks and then hold. 1, 2, 3. And now all 4 of our working scenarios cycle through in a loop. Whichever scenario we stop on, for example, let's say we stop on the warm halo, we just release the button. The flashlight will turn on in this scenario after being turned off. So, as you can see, turned it off, turned it on. Let's try again. 1, 2, 3. Here, our current scenarios are changing. The specific ones we carefully recorded together. Let's stop here. This was the last scenario where we exited the mode of our recorded scenarios. Flashlight memory. Now let's turn the flashlight off and on in moonlight mode, and our flashlight, it turns on in the scenario where we exited the selector, the one we chose. I hope that's more or less clear. The most important thing when working with this flashlight and choosing options is to understand for yourself what duration of button presses you need. I'm 100% sure that not everyone will get it right the first time. There's no need to panic or regret the money spent. I mean, 570 euros is also quite a bit of money. You just need to figure out this system, understand for yourself what duration of button presses you need for this button, so that everything works out for you. It didn't work out for me the first time either. I fiddled with the flashlight, as I already mentioned. Now basically, there are no difficulties at all. Based on all this, I want to point out one downside of this flashlight, right away before I lose my train of thought. As a dedicated user, it would be significantly more convenient and user-friendly for me if the process of switching between my various custom modes that I have meticulously set up within this particular flashlight did not necessitate a double press and hold action, but could instead be accomplished with a simple single press of the button. That would be much more convenient. Or at least, for example, like I have it. In one Armitage flashlight, it was set up so that you turn the head once, twice, and that way you switch modes. Apparently that's not particularly easy to do technologically. And in general, as I already mentioned, if you're used to it, there shouldn't be any problems. You can also adjust the brightness while the flashlight is on by pressing and holding the button. Press. At the same time, the brightness starts to change. When you reach the desired brightness, just release the button. But let's turn on our flashlight. Here, it turned on in working mode. We press the button and are holding it. And as you can see, the brightness is changing. Released, pressed again, and the brightness goes up. So this way we can either increase the brightness of the light. Once again, released. Once again, to the maximum. Next, we should really take a moment to talk about the truly captivating moonlight mode. What is moonlight mode and what is it for? The moonlight function is used as a peripheral light for things like charging your gun, handling fish, providing illumination, and so on. In other words, it's the mode we use for gathering our gear when we don't need the full power of the flashlight. So that the flashlight doesn't drain our batteries at lightning speed, we can switch it to moonlight mode. And naturally, power consumption and battery drain will be minimal. How do we activate moonlight mode? Right now, I've turned it off on purpose. Ladies, with a single click, we only turn on the main light and turn the flashlight off completely. With the flashlight turned off, perform 2 quick presses, a click, and then hold the button for 4 seconds. The orange LED indicator will blink 4 times. Moonlight mode will turn on and light up. Alright, let's give it a try. 2 quick presses, click on the flashlight when it's off, and then hold. 1, 2. Now our orange amber LED is blinking. Moonlight mode. It's turned on. So now we can easily activate either the regular standard mode or the specialized moonlight mode and also completely turn the flashlight off. There are indeed 4 distinct preset moonlight scenarios available, from which we can carefully choose the specific one we most urgently need. While operating in the gentle moonlight mode, we simply perform 2 quick presses, a distinct click, and then firmly hold it down. This will start cycling through the moonlight scenarios. 1, 2. So it cycles through the 4 moonlight scenarios in a loop. I'll choose this one. And here's what we get. Next, regarding the process of turning moonlight mode on and off completely, this particular function only operates when the flashlight itself is entirely off. With the flashlight in the off position, you will need to perform 2 quick presses, a distinct click sound, and then continue to hold the button down for a full 4 seconds. The orange bar LED will blink 4 times, moonlight will turn on and light up. Or if it's already set, it will turn off. So this works only when the flashlight is off. 1, 2, 3. That's it, our moonlight is off. So at this point, when we turn it on, we only have our main mode, our main light. Now let's turn moonlight back on. Again, only with the flashlight off, do 2 quick presses, click, and hold for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3. The orange LED started blinking. And the moonlight mode is now on. The next feature of this flashlight is the automatic moonlight shut-off timer, but I won't focus on that because for me, well, there's just no need for it. I don't need the flashlight to turn off by itself, at some point while packing my gear, for example. If I need it, I can turn it on myself. If I don't, I can turn it off myself. So for those who need this option, when buying the flashlight, they can easily figure it out themselves by following the instructions. Let's talk, in my opinion, about more important settings of this flashlight, like the power ratio between the center and the halo. This is done exclusively with the flashlight turned on. Make 4 quick clicks and then hold the button for 4 seconds while the flashlight is on. 1, 2, 3, 4. The orange LED started blinking. The flashlight blinked once to indicate it. This now signifies that we are currently positioned on the very first available option, and here is a comprehensive overview of precisely what we can accomplish and achieve with this initial power setting configuration option. This detailed representation is approximately how it appears within the official manual. That is, we can increase the center's power by reducing the halo's power, or on the contrary, increase the halo's power and decrease the center's power. How do we do this? This can only be done when the preset scenario center plus halo is selected and the flashlight is turned off. Or while you are in the special moonlight mode, simply press and then hold down the button firmly. The orange LED indicator blinks. There are a total of 5 color transition modes, each with a 20% step. In short, a quick press of the button is a click. Holding the button significantly changes the direction of the power shift substantially towards increasing the positive perception in a meaningful way. But right now the halo is shining more powerfully than the center. Another quick press, and we make the center brighter relative to the halo. But anyway, one way or another, if all this seems a bit confusing to someone, yes, try it out, give it a go, but you got the idea, right? We can adjust the power by increasing the center relative to the halo. So if we increase the power of the center, we decrease the power of the halo, or vice versa, we increase the power of the halo. By doing so, we decrease the power of the center, which in my opinion is also a very, very useful thing. Why not? Why not experiment with it? The next option we'll look at for changing the power is increasing and decreasing the center and the halo. So how does this work? Again, we need to select the second option for the power ratio. Previously we were looking at option 1, now we're choosing option 2. This is only possible when the flashlight is turned on. So we've turned it on. We do 4 short clicks and then press and hold. 4 seconds. The orange amber LED will blink 4 times, then there will be 2 short flashes from the flashlight. 2 means that option 2 is programmed. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here is our flashlight. It blinked twice. That means we've switched to the second mode. Now let's try to set it up. Also exclusively. Exclusively when the flashlight is turned off. And to set the mode to center and halo, we press and hold the button. Press. We pressed and are holding the button. The orange LED is blinking. And now the center is starting to increase. The center has increased. Let's do it again. The next short press and hold of the button increases the brightness of the halo. There are 8 levels. We are counting 2, then 3, followed by 4, and then 5, subsequently 6, next 7, and finally 8. There you go. Our flashlight is now set to maximum power, both the halos and the centers. Smooth light ramp up. This function allows the diver's eyes to adapt before the dive and prevents scaring the fish with a sudden burst of light. It also increases the flashlight's burn time. The smooth ramp up only occurs when the flashlight is turned on and it aims for the previously used light level. A short press, a click, prematurely switches the flashlight to constant illumination, thus cancelling the smooth ramp up. I don't know how necessary this feature is, but I definitely don't need it. But let's try to figure it out. How to turn it on, how to turn it off. There's nothing complicated about it. It's just so you have a general idea. You need to turn on the flashlight at any brightness level. Then press and hold the button. Aim for either the minimum or maximum brightness level. Keep holding the button for 4 seconds. The orange LED will blink 4 times. The main light will announce with a double signal, smooth light ramp up enabled. Let's give it a try. The more times the flashlight blinks, the more seconds we meticulously set for the smooth ramp-up process. Right now, as I understand it, it's set to 25 seconds. If we carefully turn on the flashlight over the extended course of 25 full seconds, it will gradually get noticeably brighter and brighter. How necessary this is, I don't know. Personally, I don't really need it. To disable the smooth ramp up, you need to turn on the flashlight at any brightness level, then press and hold the press button, aiming for either the minimum or maximum brightness level, and keep holding the press button for 4 seconds. The orange LED will blink 4 times. The main light will announce with a single signal. The smooth ramp up is now disabled. Press and hold. It goes to minimum. The amber LED blinks. It blinked just once, which clearly indicates that the smooth ramp up functionality is currently disabled. That's it, we've turned off the smooth ramp up. Now our flashlight turns on with a single press, switches to moonlight mode, and turns off. Is that more or less clear? The most important thing when working with this flashlight is to understand exactly how to press this button. So just practice a little, sit down, play around with it for half an hour, and I think it will become more or less clear to everyone. Now I'll show you all 15 scenarios that are programmed into it and how they look in the dark. Let's count them out carefully. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and finally 15. Now, moving on, I am excited to demonstrate two more incredibly useful and innovative functions of this versatile and powerful flashlight. One of these essential functions is its advanced signaling capability, which can be crucial in various situations. The flashlight has three signaling modes: friend, foe, and self-identification on the water. SOS, a call for help, and strobe signaling, as well as the battery discharge status. To activate these modes, let me show you what you need to do. With the flashlight either in the on position, completely off, or in the specialized moonlight mode, you should then perform a quick press and subsequently hold down the main button for an approximate duration of about 2 full seconds. This is the powerful strobe mode designed for signaling. It also features a crucial friend or foe mode which helps in identification. If you press the button again, it seamlessly switches to the very next signal, which is the internationally recognized distress signal, SOS. Pressing the button once again switches to the current battery discharge status signal, and so it continuously cycles through the various display modes. And the last option I want to talk about, in my opinion, this is also a very important option. I really liked it. This is the button under the cover for saving and restoring the user's individual profile. What is this for? Now I will try my very best to explain this concept to you in much greater detail and with more clarity. Right here under the cover there's a small black button like this. Let's put it this way. At the very beginning of this review, I showed you how to view the 15 programmed scenarios in this flashlight and how to select the ones you need. When we have successfully set up the precise number of scenarios that we truly need, it becomes incredibly convenient and highly beneficial to save them. To effectively save the specific scenario that we have carefully selected, you will need to perform a deliberate double click on this particular small black button and then continue to hold it down firmly. Press for 4 seconds as stated in the instructions. The scenarios we've set will be saved to the flashlight's memory. What's special about this button? What's the point of saving our modes and scenarios at all? Let's say we've chosen the scenarios we need, saved them to our flashlight's mode, and then decided to play around with the settings and features of the device again. Suppose we set something up incorrectly, for example. We selected the wrong scenarios. We're too lazy to restore them all over again. With this same button, by pressing and holding it briefly, we can restore the settings we previously saved. In my opinion, that's really great and super convenient, because I've personally had situations more than once where, for example, I saved a certain number of scenarios for myself. I started fiddling with this flashlight again, going through things, changing some settings, and basically just so I wouldn't have to think about which scenarios I had saved before, so I wouldn't have to look for them or set them up again. And all I had to do was press this button once. Press and hold it a second time and all my settings go back to their original state. That's really cool. I think I've covered all the flashlight's options. I sincerely apologize in advance if anything I presented was somewhat unclear, or if certain sections of the explanation seemed a little bit chaotic and disorganized to you. I did the best I could. Anyway, I just wanted to clearly show you how to set up the flashlight, what the button presses should be like, so that no one panics if something doesn't work out, and so you don't end up like I did. During the first hour and a half, I started to regret buying it. But thank God I figured it out, thank God I understood how it all works, and at this point I can say that, in general, I don't regret it. Now I want to move on to the pros and cons of this flashlight. What I liked and what I didn't like. Also, so that future buyers can form an opinion about whether they need it or not. Let's start with the cons. The very first, in my considered opinion, truly significant drawback for me personally, and indeed quite notably, is the mode control. When we have meticulously programmed a certain specific number of operational scenarios into our various working modes, as I previously mentioned earlier, it would be considerably much more convenient and efficient for me to effortlessly switch between them with a single simple press. I don't know, like with my army tech, I could do it by turning the head. That's one thing. Well, maybe there just wasn't any other option, so to speak. I don't know, but for me, that's a downside. But if we consider the convenience of operating the flashlight, you have to agree with me that it would be much more convenient, for example, if when the flashlight is on, we didn't have to do 2 presses and hold to cycle through our programmed scenarios and stop at the one we need at any given moment. And if it were possible to just switch between all the saved modes with a single click, in my opinion, that's a drawback. The next downside of this flashlight, in my view, is that it's quite expensive, as I already mentioned. For example, as a diver who does video shooting, well, I bought it, but honestly, I still don't really know how or where to attach it. The point is simply that, actually, here's my idea. Somehow attach it to my hand. Mount a GoPro camera holder on top of it, and have it all on my wrist, like this, so that my fingers, my hand can still function normally, to grab something, to hold something. And so the flashlight is attached to my hand, something like that. No handles. Yeah, unfortunately, there are absolutely no additional accessories available for it at all. I hope that the manufacturer of these flashlights will also watch my video and get some ideas from it. Maybe to create a kit, a separate set that you could even buy for an extra price. For example, specifically for attaching this flashlight somewhere on your hand. Because the flashlight isn't just for underwater hunting, as we've already seen. It has modes that provide only a halo of light specifically for video shooting. And it would be really nice and quite convenient if you could get it ready to use right out of the box when you buy it. You assemble your gear, charge it up, go to the water, and immediately use it for filming. Instead of holding it like this in your hand, you could mount it on your hand somehow. That's also a downside for me. There's no handle of any kind, at least not even a basic one. Especially if you look at flashlights for diving on AliExpress, for example, they already come with some kind of handle that you can wear on your wrist, at least something like that. With some kind of clamp, for example, you could have come up with something here. Yeah, that's the second downside. Third, I don't know if this is really a downside or not, but it's the weight. The flashlight with batteries weighs 700 grams. It's basically a real brick. But again, if you take into account the fact that it has 421-700 batteries inside, and that's a lot of weight, well, anyway, as I see it, the only way to make it lighter would be if it were made of plastic, for example. However, as you can clearly understand, plastic and aluminum are indeed two fundamentally different materials, so that particular aspect is more of an indirect downside or a potential drawback. Well, whether it truly constitutes a significant minus or not, that remains a highly debatable point. Consequently, as for all the remaining potential cons and disadvantages, honestly speaking, I have not yet discovered any further significant ones to mention so far in my comprehensive assessment. Well, yes, the controls are a bit complicated. You really need to get accustomed to this particular and quite essential button. After playing around with this remarkable flashlight for a couple of days, you will undoubtedly get used to its operation, and there is truly nothing too scary or intimidating about it whatsoever. That's about all there is to say on that matter. Now, as for the numerous and significant advantages of this impressive flashlight, let's delve into those details. For me, its advantages far outweigh all its drawbacks. No question about it. The first significant advantage is that the flashlight runs on 21700 batteries. They come with 5000 milliamp hour batteries included. Moreover, I checked online stores and you can even buy power batteries with a capacity of 5500 milliamp hours. But no 18650 battery has that kind of power. The absolute maximum capacity I have personally observed, and that particular measurement actually precisely matched the printed label, was exactly 3500 full milliamp hours. You can put in 5500 milliamp hour batteries here, which I think will further increase its operating time, its lighting duration. That's a huge plus. The flashlight's power is 6500 lumens. So that's also a very significant advantage. And the absolute biggest plus point for me, which completely and utterly outweighs all the potential drawbacks and minor cons of this particular flashlight, is that it's wonderfully multicolored. As I already mentioned, in my experience in my life, I have never seen flashlights that could shine both with cool light and warm light at the same time. Moreover, for example, even if you meticulously set just 4 distinct scenarios in the various working modes, such as a truly cold hotspot with a noticeable halo, a pleasantly warm hotspot with a clear halo, simply a cold halo, and merely a warm halo, you essentially acquire 4 incredibly versatile flashlights all integrated into one single powerful device. Well, damn, that's out of this world. For that, I want to say a huge thank you to the manufacturers. In my opinion, you've actually created a revolutionary product, a revolutionary flashlight. I hope that something new will appear in the near future. As I already mentioned, maybe some mounts specifically for divers, specifically for underwater filming, because a flashlight like this absolutely should exist and it deserves its place, and I think that, as it's positioned, this flashlight has truly leapt ahead of its time, and in my opinion that's really the case. The flashlight is awesome. I'm really satisfied, honestly. Honestly, I never once had any doubts after I figured out how to use it, after I understood how to set it up. I never once thought I might regret the money I spent on it. Awesome. Super. As for, say, buying this flashlight solely for underwater hunting, I'm not sure how necessary that really is. When I was into underwater hunting, I used Armitech flashlights, the Armitech Predator and the Armitech Viking. They suited me perfectly. I always had both flashlights with me. They're small and they provide plenty of light too. One of my flashlights was warm light, the other was cool light. For underwater hunting, that was more than enough for me. Absolutely. Take the Barracuda, for example. Chinese flashlights are good too. But if you're not just into underwater hunting, but also into videography, and you like filming underwater, if you want to shoot some objects underwater, for example, man, that's the thing. That's really the thing. Let's say you've come to the Red Sea, for example, where the water is perfectly clear. So you want to get beautiful shots, beautiful video. You turn on the cool halo on it, start filming. Gorgeous. The water is clear, the light is cool, amazing. The video turns out perfectly beautiful. If you decide to shoot in some body of water where the water is pretty murky, just switch on the warm halo and it does its job. Awesome. Awesome. At this point, I've said everything about the flashlight in this review. It's up to you to decide whether you need it or not. I need it. Yes, I need it. I'm satisfied. Super. The flashlight is solid. Very soon, I'll go to a body of water and shoot a couple of videos, for example, using my own custom modes that I set up. I will be shooting a couple of detailed videos with this powerful flashlight to clearly show you exactly how it brilliantly lights up the underwater environment and precisely how the video camera records in its various different modes. Thank you to absolutely everyone who dedicated their valuable time to watch my somewhat rambling and engage with my content. My channel is still pretty weak, but we'll do our best to develop it. To anyone who subscribes to our channel, I want to say a huge thank you. I hope something comes out of this channel and that we can grow it into something much more serious. Thank you all. Goodbye, everyone.